Okay, so on PicoVNA 5, we've got two wonderful features, Zoom and Magnify. And you may have seen in an earlier video, they're hidden under these keys in the bottom right of each plot. Let's suppose we want to take a look in detail at this roll-off of our low-pass filter. Let me call up a zoom region, and you can see I've got some bounds that have appeared here, and I can drag those bounds. Let's drag one right to the end here, and let's drag the other to about there, and add graph. And we've got our familiar layout here. Let's add the graph there. And there we go. We have created a zoom region with its own controls here, so we can up the sensitivity there, and I'm now looking at that at 3 dB per division. And so we can see in detail the roll-off and the effect on roll-off of me earlier on touching the board with my finger. And in the magnified region, we have full control still of our marker. So I drag it in this region, or I can drag it in either region, and it's going to move appropriately. And we've still got our cursor readout too. So there you are, I've created a zoom region. But we're not limited to a zoom region. Let's create another one. Let's now focus in on these two reinsertion features here. Let's say we want to understand those in more detail. Let's add a graph. We'll put that up there. We'll close, and there we are. We've brought up that one as well. And we can turn on a bit more sensitivity. Let's offset that as well. There we go. Right, there we go. So we've created a second region here, and we've zoomed in on that too. So region 1 and region 2. And we can go on adding as many zoom regions as we like. Suppose we wanted one for the Smith chart here. We'd go down here, we would add zoom region, add graph, there we go. And now that is a zoomed frequency span on our Smith chart. And if I pull that back a little bit, you can see the Smith chart spins back there to the lower frequency ranges, and there and there. There we go. So I can create as many, I've got 3 zoom regions now defined, 2 on this graph and 2 on that graph. I can go on ad infinitum, add in zoom regions. Of course, it gets all very confusing, and we probably don't want to do that. But there we go. A very powerful feature for zooming in on a particular feature. And if you have a number of channels of frequency that you want to zoom in on, then of course you would be able to do that on an individual basis in zoomed region or segment plots. Now we have another feature too. Let's back ourselves out of these. If we delete that, and we delete that, I'll perhaps just leave one up for the time being. So we're back to one zoom region. Now let's suppose we want to see what's really going on just briefly in the center of our Smith chart there. The other feature that might be of interest to us is Magnify. Now with Magnify, I've created, or it's created for me, a region on the Smith chart that is blown up in the magnification here shown at the bottom of the screen. And if I grab hold of the bars there and reshape this, drag it. There we go. Now you can see some of the detail right in the center of the Smith chart there, and we can drag that around at will. Let's get that a bit more centered for you. There you go. So now, and unusually, we can see right in the middle of our Smith chart, and in fact, if you want to zoom anywhere on the Smith chart, then any region can be selected, as you can see from the mechanism we're using here. Let's stop that one. We can do exactly the same on the time-based chart here. We have a region. If we click on it and we zoom in on detail, we can do that thus. And really begin to understand the detail of the overshoots there. So any one of our plots, we can apply a Magnify capability to. Again, notice, I should point this out, we have full control over our markers in the magnified region. So you are able to place your markers with a good deal of precision using the Magnify and indeed the regional zoom features.